It always starts at the same time, 3 in the morning. The hour where shadows seem heavier, where the silence hums, where the walls feel thinner. And tonight, I woke up again. My eyes snapped open like something called to me from the dark. My room, quiet. My phone, face down on the nightstand. I reached for it out of habit, and that's when I saw it. A message. Why are you awake? But I didn't send it. It was from me. My own name, my own number, staring back at me from the screen. At first, I laughed. Must be a glitch. Or maybe I was still dreaming. But the feeling in my chest, tight, uneasy, told me otherwise. I sat up. The room didn't feel right. You know that moment when the air feels heavier? Like the walls are holding their breath? That's exactly how it felt. I looked around. The door was shut. Curtains drawn. Everything exactly how I left it when I crawled into bed. And yet, that message stared back at me. I pressed the screen off. Slid the phone onto the nightstand. Tried to shake off the unease. But the moment my head hit the pillow, the screen lit up again. Another message. I see you. My throat tightened. The screen reflected my face, but something was wrong. My eyes, they looked dull. Lifeless. Not like me. Like something wearing my skin. I told myself it was stress. Sleep deprivation. I've been working too hard, barely resting. But deep down, I knew this wasn't my imagination. I got up, walked the room. Every creak of the floorboards beneath my feet sounded sharper, louder. The air pulsed with something I couldn't name. Another message. Closer. I spun around. No one there. The corners of the room, darker than they should be. The space around me felt warped. Like the walls weren't straight anymore. Like they were leaning in. I tried the door. Locked. Just how I left it. The phone buzzed again. Doors don't stop me. My heart skipped. I felt the blood drain from my face. The screen glowed in the dark, casting long, soft light across the room. That's when the sound started. A low, steady hum. Not from outside, not from the street, but from inside the walls. It wasn't mechanical. It wasn't electric. It was alive. I pressed my ear to the wall. For a moment, I heard nothing, and then faint, unmistakable. Whispers. They rippled through the plaster, like voices trapped just behind the surface. A laugh. A whisper. My name. I stumbled back, knocking over the chair by my desk. The screen buzzed once more, a new message flashing across it. Behind you. I froze. The room, dead quiet, except for the low hum, and my own racing pulse. I turned, slowly, every nerve screaming. Nothing. But the mirror across the room, it showed otherwise. In the reflection, I wasn't alone. There, behind me, barely visible, a figure. Tall. Still. Its face, wrong. It looked like me, but stretched, distorted, its smile carved wide across its cheeks. I spun around, but the room. Empty. The mirror? Still showing that thing lingering just over my shoulder. The phone buzzed again. This time, no words. Just a picture. Of me. Not now, not here, but sleeping in my bed. Taken from above. I looked at the bed empty. The sheets tangled from when I'd woken up. The hum deepened, vibrating through the floorboards. The whispers louder now. Soft voices crawling beneath my skin, wrapping around my thoughts. Why are you awake? They whispered. You weren't supposed to be awake. The screen pulsed with light. Another picture. Me. Standing. But in the photo, my eyes, pitch black. My mouth, grinning unnaturally wide. A knock at the door. 3 soft, deliberate taps. I didn't move. Couldn't breathe. The handle turned, despite the lock. The whispers, laughing now inside the walls, inside my head. The door creaked open, slow, steady, revealing only the empty hallway beyond. But the hallway mirror, it betrayed the truth. There I was, but not me. The version in the mirror stared straight ahead, eyes dark, face split by that impossible grin. It raised its hand, waved, and mouthed the words I couldn't unhear. Forever awake. The door slammed shut. The room plunged into silence. I never fell asleep again. Be careful when you wake up at 3 in the morning. Sometimes you're not supposed to. Sometimes they notice when you do. You'd think after what happened, I'd leave, pack a bag, run, never look back. But where do you run when the thing chasing you? Where's your face? It didn't end that night. It never ends. The next day, everything looked normal. My bed, made. My phone, silent. The mirror, still. No trace of them. I told myself it was a nightmare. Sleep deprivation, stress, maybe I cracked. But deep down, I knew better. Because that morning, I noticed the picture, not on my phone, but framed, neatly placed on my desk. A photograph of me, but not any ordinary photo. In it, I was asleep, eyes closed, mouth slightly open. Peaceful. The problem is, I live alone, and I don't own a camera. The same unease coiled in my chest. The air in the room, still heavy, pressed against me like invisible hands. I scanned the walls, the corners, behind the door. Nothing but shadows. And yet, I wasn't alone. The whispers, they were still there. Soft, curling beneath the quiet like smoke. Faint, but constant. Awake. Still awake. Shouldn't be. I grabbed my keys, left the apartment, told myself I needed air, sunlight, people. The city, bustling, loud, ordinary. It didn't help. The whispers followed me. In the subway, reflections of my face stared back at me from every window, every dark surface, grinning, watching. In the store windows, my reflection didn't match my movements. It smiled when I didn't, tilted its head when I stood still, mocking me. The messages started again. This time, not just from my number. Unknown senders, blank profiles, all saying the same thing. We're closer. The walls remember. Why are you awake? It wasn't just my apartment anymore. They were everywhere. Watching. Waiting. The nightmares bled into waking hours. Sleep became impossible. Every time I closed my eyes, I'd feel it. That presence. Standing at the foot of my bed. Breathing. Listening. Once, I opened my eyes in the dark, saw the faint outline by the window. Tall. Still. Head tilted, like it was studying me. I didn't move. Didn't breathe. It just stood there, unmoving. Its shape barely visible. Its grin. Wide. Teeth impossibly straight. Impossibly white. The whispers filled the room. Forever awake. That's when I understood. This thing, these things, they aren't ghosts or nightmares. They're parasites. Feeding on exhaustion. Dread, breaking you down until you're too tired to fight, too numb to care, too drained to resist. And when you finally pass out, that's when they take your place. That reflection, the one grinning in the mirror, it wasn't me. It was what happens when I finally fall asleep, when I finally give in. But I can't. I can't sleep. I can't rest. Because if I do, they'll take over, and no one will notice the difference. So I stay awake, counting the hours, listening to the whispers behind the walls, waiting, knowing they're getting closer, knowing sooner or later, I'll lose. It's been 6 days now. I don't know how I'm still functioning. I haven't slept, not really. Naps, seconds of unconsciousness stolen here and there, but real sleep? No, I can't. Because every time I close my eyes, they get closer. The whispers louder. The reflections wrong. The messages constant. My phone buzzes, even when it's powered off. The mirrors show things that aren't there. And now, it's not just me. I see them in the streets. Copies of strangers. People with smiles stretched, just a little too wide. Eyes too dark, too still. They walk among us, wearing faces like masks. No one else notices. But I do. Last night, the final warning came. A message. Tonight, you sleep. Simple. Direct. I tried everything. Coffee. Energy drinks. Ice water. I even tried slapping myself awake. But it's not enough. The body, it always gives in. It's happening now. The room. Swimming. Walls bending inward. Floor tilting. Shadows crawling along the ceiling like oil. I'm losing. The mirror across from me. It's showing the bed. Showing me. Only. I'm already lying there. But I'm still standing. It's replaced me. The reflection. Lying peacefully under the blanket. Chest rising and falling. Its face. Relaxed. Eyes closed. But then, slowly, it opens its eyes. Dark. Empty. Grinning. It turns its head. Looks straight at me. Through the glass. And mouths the words that drain every ounce of strength from my body. Sleep now. I stagger back. Breath caught in my throat. But I can't fight anymore. The room. The whispers. The hum inside the walls. They drown everything else. I collapse onto the floor. The last thing I see is the reflection, climbing out of the bed, standing, stretching, smiling, wearing my face like it's always belonged to them. It walks to the door, opens it, and steps into the world. And me? I'm trapped here now, behind the glass, behind the walls. One more whisper among millions, warning the next per soul. If you're listening to this, stay awake, because once they get inside, you don't wake up. You never wake up. You'd think, once they take your place, it's over. But it isn't. It's worse. Because now, I see everything from the other side. I'm not gone. I'm stuck, watching, behind the mirror, trapped in the reflections, and the thing walking around, wearing my face, living my life. It's not clumsy. It knows how to smile just right, how to answer questions the way I would. It even uses my voice. No one notices. Not my friends. Not my neighbors. They all think it's me. But I can see the cracks. The little wrongness. The way its eyes linger too long in mirrors. The way it watches people when they aren't looking. The whispers, they never stopped. Except now. I'm part of them. Do you know what it's like to be just a voice in the walls? A smudge on the glass? A faint echo behind your own reflection? I do. And I've seen the others. Millions, maybe more. All trapped, just like me. Their reflections replaced, their lives stolen, their voices reduced to whispers, warnings that no one listens to. Until it's too late. I thought I was special, that maybe I could fight it. But they always win. Always. And soon, you'll hear them too. Maybe you already do. A faint voice, when you're alone. A chill behind your back when you pass a mirror. A face staring just a second too long from your window's reflection. It starts small. And then, one night, you'll see it. Your own face, grinning at you, from where it shouldn't be. And you'll know, it's your turn. Just like it was mine. The only question is, how long can you stay awake? I've been here, behind the glass, for what feels like forever. There's no time here. No day. No night. Just reflections. Twisting. Repeating. Endless copies of faces, people, all watching, all silent. Their eyes hollow. Their mouths frozen open, mid-scream. But no sound comes out, except the whispers. Always the whispers. I tried to fight at first. Slammed my fist against the glass, screamed until my throat bled. No one heard me. They never do. The world moves on. And the thing wearing my skin, walking my life, blends in perfectly. But sometimes, it slips. The others out there, they see it. They don't realize it, not fully, but something in their gut tells them. A glance that lasts too long. A shadow in the wrong place. A smile that stretches just a little too wide. And when they notice, the thing smiles wider. Because now, it knows who's next. It's a pattern. They take one, replace them, move on to the next. I've seen it happen, over and over. It never ends. The city filled with them now. Faces that aren't quite right. People who aren't people anymore. And the real ones, their eyes tell the story. Tired, afraid, waiting for their turn. That's how it starts. The sleepless nights. The whispers behind the walls. The wrong reflection. And by the time you're hearing this, it's already begun. You've noticed, haven't you? The shadows where they shouldn't be. The faint voice calling your name when you're alone. The reflection, smiling, when you're not. You can't fight them. You can't hide. All you can do is stay awake, as long as you can. But trust me, eventually, you'll close your eyes. And when you do, you won't be the one who opens them. I never used to be the kind of person who believed in urban legends. You know, the ones stories whispered around late at night, always happening to a friend of a friend. The shadow in the mirror, the knock on the window, the stranger under the bed. It was all nonsense to me, until I moved into this building. This old, crumbling apartment block tucked away in one of those forgotten corners of the city. The kind of place that feels like it's been quietly rotting for decades while the world moves on. The neighbors keep to themselves. The walls sweat with damp. Pipes rattle at night like bones shifting under the floor. It's the kind of place where no one asks questions. At first, I thought I could handle it. Cheap rent, privacy, a place to disappear for a while. But I didn't know what I was stepping into. I didn't know about him, the man who watches the drain. I heard about him the first week I moved in the laundromat downstairs. There was this old woman, Mrs. Dalka, everyone called her. She'd lived here longer than anyone. She told me to be careful, not about the crime, not about the rats. She warned me about the drains. You hear them gurgle when they shouldn't, she whispered, folding her clothes with trembling hands. You hear voices down there, or eyes staring up at you. You run. You run fast. But never, ever, look away if you see him. I laughed it off. I thought she was just some senile old lady, rambling about ghost stories. But then, people started disappearing. First, it was a guy from the 4th floor. Quiet. Kept to himself. His apartment door was found open, water leaking out into the hallway, but no sign of him. Then a woman from 2A, same story. Gone without a trace. Just a wet trail leading to the storm drain behind the building. The cops didn't care. Said it was drug-related. Said it was crime. But the ones who've lived here long enough, they knew better. I didn't believe any of it until that night. It was late. Couldn't sleep. The heat in my apartment was unbearable, so I went for a walk, headphones in, hoodie up, just trying to clear my head. I cut through the alley behind the building, past the old drainage canal that snakes under the complex. That's when I saw him. At first, I thought it was just a shadow. A hunched figure crouched beside the massive storm drain, barely visible under the faint yellow streetlight. But then he looked up. His eyes were wrong, wide, bulging, yellow like something drowned too long in water. His skin looked stretched thin, pale, like it had been soaking in a bathtub for days. Wet strands of hair hung over his face like kelp. And that grin. God, that grin. It twisted unnaturally across his face, jagged, broken teeth glinting in the dim light. I froze. Something primal inside me screamed to run, but Mrs. Dalka's words echoed in my head. Never look away. His body, it moved horribly, limbs bending at sick angles. His joints cracking as he began to crawl toward me, impossibly fast, dragging himself along the concrete like some grotesque spider. All the while, his eyes never left mine. I stood rooted to the spot, locked in a silent battle of wills, my pulse hammering in my throat. The closer he came, the stronger the smell, like stagnant water, mold, and something rotten. When he was barely a few feet away, he stopped, crouched there, grinning, eyes boring into mine like he was memorizing my face. Then, without a sound, he slipped backward, vanishing into the darkness of the drain. I ran, didn't look back, didn't breathe until I was locked inside my apartment. But it didn't matter, because once you see him, you're marked. He remembers. The signs came quickly, water stains spreading across my ceiling, despite clear skies. The drains in my bathroom, gurgling constantly. I'd wake in the middle of the night to find puddles in my hallway, my sheets damp. The faint sound of whispers curling up from the pipes. At first, I thought I was losing my mind. Then the dream started. I'd be standing in a vast, black tunnel, ankle-deep in freezing water, the walls pulsing like they were alive. In the distance, eyes, dozens of them, staring from cracks, from pipes, from the endless, dripping darkness. And always that grin. The man who watches the drain. Every night, he gets closer. It isn't just my building anymore. I see him everywhere now. In puddles on the street. In the reflection of wet pavement after rain. In the shadowed corners of subway platforms where the drainage grates run like veins beneath the city. And the disappearances, they keep happening. More people gone. Wet trails left behind. The authorities call it coincidence. They blame the usual suspects. Crime, addiction, poverty. But I know the truth. He's always been here, lurking beneath the surface. Waiting, watching. I've sealed every drain in my apartment. Blocked the sinks. Covered the bathtub. But it's not enough. It never is. Because he doesn't need an open drain anymore. Not once he's marked you. Sometimes. I hear his voice. Soft. Distant. Echoing through the pipes. He whispers things. Names. Threats. Promises. Last night, he whispered mine. I don't know how much longer I can hold out. I haven't slept properly in days. Every time I close my eyes, I see that grin. That impossible, predatory grin, waiting just beneath the surface. Maybe tonight's the night he comes for me. Maybe he's already here, watching from the drain beneath my bed, the one I forgot to seal. So if I disappear, if you find my apartment empty, the floor wet, the drains gurgling with voices, remember what I told you. If you ever see him, crouch by the drain, eyes locked on yours, mouth stretching wide with that awful, crooked smile. Don't look away, because if you do, you're his. And there's no coming back. It's been 2 weeks since that night in the alley. 2 weeks since I saw him, and everything started unraveling. I've tried everything. I sealed the drains, taped over every gap, poured concrete into the bathtub. I even ripped the damn sink out of the wall. But water finds a way. It always does. First, it was the damp smell creeping into my clothes, into my bed, like mildew crawling under my skin. Then, the puddles. Little ones, at first. By the front door. In the kitchen. Dark, stagnant pools that shouldn't be there. But the worst part is the sounds. It's subtle. A whisper at first, like the rush of water through old pipes. But the more you listen, the more you realize. It isn't the pipes. It's him, speaking through them. His voice. Low, wet, rasping like a drowned man coughing up lake water. Sometimes, he laughs. A horrible, ragged sound that trickles up from the drains, slipping through the walls, curling into my ears at night. I tried to tell people. The landlord shrugged it off. Old building, he said. Everything leaks. The cops? Useless. They looked at me like I was another paranoid burnout spiraling into delusion. But I'm not crazy. I see the signs now. They're everywhere. The news barely mentions it, but more people are vanishing. An entire family from down the hall gone overnight. Their floor soaked. Their apartment doors sagging off its hinges. No forced entry. No struggle. Just water. The building smells like rot now. Mildew stains creep up the walls like veins. The drains gurgle constantly, like they're alive, breathing. I barely sleep. Every time I close my eyes. I see him, crouched at the end of my bed, pale, soaked, grinning that impossible grin. His eyes bulge, wide, wet, yellow like sewer water reflecting streetlight. And his mouth, it stretches, impossibly wide, black water dripping from the corners, teeth jagged like broken glass. I know what's happening. He's breaking me down, wearing me out, waiting until I'm weak, until I slip, until I forget to watch the drains. Last night, I made a mistake. I forgot to block the shower drain. It was only for a second, but that's all he needs. The lights dimmed. The water in the pipes began to shake, and from deep below, I heard him, his voice coiling up from the darkness like smoke. Almost time. I know what that means. He's coming, and I can't stop him. This isn't just a building anymore. It's him. The whole structure, the pipes, the walls, the floors soaked with his presence. I've tried to leave. I've packed my bags, slammed the door behind me, but no matter how far I go, the puddles follow. I'll be standing on the subway platform, and there, by my feet, a slick, wet trail. In the park, a manhole cover gurgles as water spills over the edges, staining the concrete. There's no escaping him, because once you see the man who watches the drain, once he locks his eyes onto yours, he marks you. You belong to him. You're part of the system now. The pipes, the drains. The endless, wet, underground maze that stretches beneath every street, every home, every building in this rotten city. And when he's ready, when your guard slips for even a moment, he'll drag you down.